Hello, welcome back to the Brandon Lee page. I haven't actually done a video on this page for a while, as I've been quite busy on my other page, which is my Laurel and Hardy and Chaplin collector page, which is my biggest collection, and then I also have another horror collector page. So I've decided to come back to the Bruce and Brandon Lee collector page that I have, and try and think of new things I can talk about and show. So for this video, I'm going to show the rarest Bruce Lee item that I have in my collection, and also some rare photographs, and just talk about those. They're not old vintage ones, but they're just nice copies of photographs, and I'll talk about those. And also, which I've had to make notes for this, which is understanding why famous people die young. So it was just something that was on my mind, and I wanted to talk about it. So, starting off, plus the t-shirt that I hardly wear, but I thought I'd wear it for this video, which is one of my favourite t-shirts with both Bruce and Brandon Lee, together with their signatures, Brandon Lee and Bruce Lee's signature there. So, starting off with this one, which is the rarest Bruce Lee item I have, and here it is. And this is Bruce Lee's original signature or autograph, and as you can see here, we'll just angle that right, it's been signed in English and Chinese on the back, with the symbol at the bottom in dragon, which I'll go through that in more detail in a minute. But it's on browning paper in a blue, or like a dark blue ink, and it's been folded, as you can see there, to create a butterfly effect. And this was signed in 1970, so this is just before the time of the series of the Longstreet, and also the Big Boss, which was 1971. So this is just before he really hit it big. But this also comes with its authenticity, so you have a certificate at the back. I also have two of these, so the other one's in its folder, and I'll keep this one on the back of the frame. And this is by the Arundel Autograph Gallery, and they have an office here in the UK, and also they're based in Australia. And they are a UACC registered dealers. So they've been going for many, many years, and I've collected many very, very rare autographs from them. And Bruce Lee was one of them. And as I got to know them very well over time, I was able to pay for Bruce Lee's signature on a monthly basis. There was no way I could have afforded this in one go. I'm not going to tell anyone how much I got it for, but you could look it up how much his signature goes for, or a lot of Bruce Lee loyal collectors, fans would know how much his signature is worth today. And it's a great, great collector's piece, and probably a holy grail of an item for very serious Bruce Lee collectors. And a huge, huge investment. But above more than that, it's an absolute pleasure to own something that Bruce Lee would have held himself and handled, and it's a really, really lovely piece. But just referring to the dragon symbol I have in this book, which is Letters of the Dragon, and I have all the volume of these, which is John Little, and there's a letter in here to Ted. This is June 1973, and at the bottom he signed his name. Just pop that down. He signed his name, but also underneath he's just put, pointed to the symbol to his signature, he's put dragon in Chinese, by the way, so it just gives a little insight into the Bruce Lee dragon symbol there, which he was very famous for doing, which was part of his like the Bruce Lee signature that he did. And then on from that is some just like random photos. So I just wanted to go through some of these, which is a great shot there of Bruce Lee, which I believe that's on the set of Enter the Dragon. looking at that with the set behind him, because that certainly looks like from that time period. And then nice shot here, All Seems Limitless, with Brandon Lee's makeup artist there on the set of The Crow. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like that's the wall outside their house in Kowloon Tong, which was 41 Cumberland Road, which I did actually manage to get to before they demolished the house in Hong Kong. And you've got Brandon and Sister Shannon. This is quite an eerie shot there. This is like a painting shot of Brandon Lee. It reminds me a bit like from the Conjuring movies, kind of a supernatural sort of horror kind of painting look, but you can see quite clearly it's meant to be him. Another artistic shot there, Brandon Lee. Love that one. And this one, a lot of the artistic ones from The Crow are really good. Really, really clever artistic pictures. And this one here, which is from Legacy of Rage, which is Brandon Lee's first big film. And another artistic shot there from The Crow. And then moving over to this lot, just these few photos here. I have a lot more photos, but these are just random ones, so I decided just to pick them out like that, the ones I found interesting. This one here is obviously from Enter the Dragon. You can see he's at rest there, and you can see how toned and in perfect condition that he is in, and he's not even flexing. He looks like a statue, like that, you know, all muscles ripped, absolutely perfect physique. And looking at the background, that may be in his home, in his office in that shot there. I'm not 100% sure. And this shot here is just a bit of fun. This picture I came across of Bruce Lee, where he looks that he's at the age of maybe in his mid-60s to early 70s there. But it reminds me of like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone a lot later, where they kept their bodies in really good condition in their later years, and this is possibly what Bruce Lee may look like today, which is really, really good picture. And then this one here of Bruce Lee, which is just a bit of fun, which is Bruce Lee from the Expendables. You could just imagine him in that film with all the other action stars, and he would have pulled it off absolutely brilliantly, but he looks really, really good there, complete with his signature nunchucks. Although he does look strange holding a machine gun, but I'm sure if he was alive to do something like that, he would have made it look really good. And then these ones here, this is from shot from Showdown Little Tokyo, Brandon Lee. You see Brandon sat there with his hand is up, and you can see that he's just impressed and really happy with his success so far with his first big American film alongside action star Dolph Lundgren. And then the Intersando Academy with Showdown Little Tokyo and Rapid Fire posters behind him there, and he's looking really proud of his two big movies that he's made on the American market there. And you can see his hair is longer, that he was obviously growing that for The Crow at the time. And a shot there with Brandon, Dolph Lundgren. Really love that shot. Unfortunately, this is the only film we get to see Brandon Lee opposite another big action star of the 80s and 90s and beyond, which would have been great to see him in maybe an action film with Stallone or Schwarzenegger or even Keanu Reeves, as they were very similar. But at least we have this one, which is a great photo there. And another artistic shot there from The Crow. Love that one. And a behind the scenes shot from The Crow. And also another one there, artistic shot there from The Crow, of all the characters from the movie with Brandon's character in the centre. And then I just have to put my glasses on because I had to write this all down. So why do certain film stars have to die young? So this is how I feel about it. So basically, nice shot there, Bruce and Brandon Lee together. Love this shot. One of my favourite shots of them both together in this particular photo. They just look so happy, and the particular family. So it seems they are born into the world only to give their one-off talents and a message, then only to expire at a very young age. Why can't they live to a grand old age to the full? But as we know, for some it was never to be, and we can only imagine what they would be like today. Another shot there of Brandon. That looks like almost like a modelling shot there. So he would have been great even as a model, with the clothes and the hairstyles and things. So as for the case on Brandon Lee, he came into the world, his father the greatest martial artist who ever lived, and in tragedy came at a young age for Brandon. So he would have suffered and missed his father every day and found it incredibly hard being the son of Bruce Lee. So finally, when Brandon went into films, he was an upcoming new film star, due to be married, couldn't wait to have a family. Another behind the scenes shot there, Brandon Lee from The Crow. That's another rare shot there. To me, life seems so unfair that one's life be snuffed out without warning, only to be left in shock and disbelief. It seems strange that in life there are many tragedies. For example, people that have done terrible things, such as in crime, to disability, as loss of limbs or loss of hearing, loss of eyesight, to cancer and many other diseases, only to live on with it. But then in Brandon's case, being perfectly healthy and full of life and ready to go, only to have it taken away so cruelly, and I just don't quite get it. Was this God's doing? Was this his plan? Didn't God want us to live a full and healthy life? We can only guess what Brandon's life could have been. And one I'm sure of is that he would have been one of the biggest stars of today and a great actor, away from his father's image. And that's no disrespect there to his father. He, of course, he couldn't be who his father was, so he had to be his own person. So these last two photos, which I really love, I love the Brandon Lee quotes. There's the top one. He says, "Time is the most valuable thing a person has. I've made a conscious effort not to waste it. You only have the burdens on you that you choose to put there." So he, very similar to his father, with inspirational philosophical quotes, and this is what I love about him, and also his father before him. And another two great shots there of Brandon Lee. But that little bit at the end was just a little bit how I was feeling about how it is, and it's just unlucky for some people. But what we do have are 5 great films on Brandon Lee, also Bruce Lee as well, and also The Crow has the biggest merchandise, as you can see behind me. It would have been a tragedy if the same, if the same things happened, and all these items were never to be. But unfortunately, that never happened. So we have everything to enjoy on Brandon Lee, and this is a good way to keep talking about him and remembering him. So so that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope to do one very soon. So bye for now.